Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. It's that time of year, Cancer. Another year is soon to come to a close and a new year is going to open up. So I'm going to do a reading for you about 2023. So it's energy predictions. These obviously won't be for everyone, or there might be some aspects that resonate for you and some that don't, and maybe all that does or all that doesn't. It's kind of hard to know until you get there, right? So there's different ways that I'm looking at 2023. I'm going to look at first kind of like your soul's journey, bigger part of your soul's journey in 2023. I'm doing that with my Starseed Oracle deck. And then after we've taken a look at that, I'm going to go into the Wild Unknown Archetype, Oracle, and Tarot, and look at like what major cycle here you closing off, you're done with that, you're not touching it anymore, that's finished for you in 2023. And I'm going to look at what major cycle you are opening up. Either like, so this is something you're opening up for the first time, or something that you're done. That's interesting. I'm getting the message. Something that you're working your way towards completing, which is kind of funny, right? Because this is the completion side. This is the completion side. So this is something that you're working your way towards completing, but it's like you're going into it more than you've gone into it at any other time in your life. So it is like a new cycle. It's got new focus, new energy. Looking at that, and then at the end I'm going into the Kipper. So I've left it to the end because I know not everybody likes the Kipper, but I know a lot of people do. So I have incorporated it because it is a little more specific, right? Well, yeah, the messages, there you go. Poverty. So that's a message and that's it. But it doesn't have to be for you. And so anyways, that's why I've left the Kipper to the end. So we'll see what that has, the Kipper, what it has to say. And yeah, let's get started, Cancer. So, as I said, I'm going to start with the Starseed Oracle deck. Let's see what the bigger part of your soul's journey, mission is, lessons, guidance for 2023 for Cancer. Soul's mission for 2023 for Cancerians. I know, if you're hoping to see little fluffy animals come by in this reading today, I know they were quite prominent in Taurus's reading. I don't think you will today. They all seem pretty tired. They were playing in the snow this morning and they're all sound asleep now. Wow, you have a new earth. That's funny. You have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding your vision. You know what's so crazy about that? That's a huge synchronicity that I had just mentioned the animals being so prominent in Taurus's reading, because this is the same card that Taurus got. So that's really quite fascinating. A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding your vision. So that's, oh, interesting. Now I kind of get what I got that message about, like, well, what's the cycle that Cancer's going to be opening up, like diving into first? No, you're closing a lot of things off in 2023, Cancer, because you're approaching a new cycle. Now, we'll see where the cards go with this. I obviously have a lot more cards that I've already mentioned that I'm going to be pulling out in this reading, but I'm really kind of getting the sense already from what I've already stated, what I've already channeled, is that 2023 is a year of closures for you, closing a lot of things off to get ready to open something big. So 2024 might be a big year for you in terms of new starts, but this is like getting the slate clean. That's what this feels like to me, getting the slate clean as you move into even a new year, a newer year. But energy can change, like that's a long way away. You've got a lot of choices and decisions to make between now and 2024. Yeah, like a whole year, depending on when you see this, a little more or less. But yeah, this is a clean slate year for Cancer, getting that slate clean, starting fresh. What do we have at the bottom? Activated earth, power places, ley lines. Trust where you're led. So I feel like being led in certain directions in 2023 is going to be a lot about, okay, you need to focus on this right now, especially if these are things that are not new in your life. If you're led back to relationships, places, situations, that, you know, have already been a part of your life, I feel like there's a sense of closing that off somehow. It doesn't mean like you're closing it off, all of it, and you're never going to see those people again. It's like there's completion that's needed in some of these things. They could be projects. And, you know, I'm looking at it like a deck, because I'm looking at a deck right now getting covered in snow. I'm looking at it like you're building a deck, right? And so there's a lot of different elements. There's like, you know, depending where you live, like here in Canada, it's good to drill a hole, I think 5 or 6 feet down, and then have a cement foundation poured in to put the post on because of the heavy frosts and whatnot that we get here. But some places you just need like that cement block to put the post in, right? You need a foundation. But I feel like you're towards the end of building this deck of life in a lot of areas. So it could be getting the knoll post on the banister or the railing of the deck, you know, these finishing touches. There's things that need to be completed so that you can go on to new things. That's what feels really strongly for me, for you in 2023. There's things that need to be completed, you know, because they kind of weigh on the back of your mind. I get that. Like if there's certain things that I know that I have to do, it doesn't necessarily mean I have too much going on to get through my day. It means I feel like I have too much going on to be able to focus on my day. So that's kind of like how that feels. It's almost like, well, let's say you live with a partner and it was your job to build the deck. And they're staining the deck. And then after you do the deck, it's your job to start like figuring out, well, where do we want the landscaping to go? Where are the flower beds to go? And your partner is saying, well, we need to get flower beds in soon if we're going to have any plants this year or get them established, because it's going to be really hot in summer soon. And you don't want to plant stuff when it's hot and dry and, you know, the middle of summer. So you're thinking, oh, I got to do that. I got to get the knoll post on, but the deck's not quite done. You know what I mean? It's like this feeling. So I feel like you're going to be led to things to look at, make sure that's finished properly. That's probably the best way to say it. Not necessarily closing it off. Make sure that's finished properly. Because you are going to be led to things here. Trust it. If it's like, well, I don't want to work on the deck anymore. If it seems like the only thing you can work on the deck because there's, you know, the stuff you needed to figure out how you wanted to shape the garden isn't available. I guess today's the day to finish that. Complete the deck. Finish that. Finish projects in 2023, Cancer. Get these things finished. I'm feeling like get these things finished so that they're not weighing on the back of your mind. You know? I don't know, maybe you're like me, like I always feel like I have a checklist sitting back there. And it's like, And then when more things are added because life progresses, I think, oh shit, still gotta do. And then it starts to weigh on you. Interesting. Some of you too, you might actually be going to particular places too. You might even find yourself living somewhere new. I mean, just like power places, ley lines, trust where you're led, new earth. To me, that even just says, like, in a more general grounded, although building a deck is pretty grounded, example is, yeah, that you might actually be moving places. You might be moving a workplace. You might be moving a living place. It's just somewhere I feel like where you would spend a lot of your time. So you might be actually moving. Trust where you're led to go. So if you feel like maybe you already have plans, you're thinking, yeah, I think I'm going to move in the new year, Cindy. But let's say maybe you plan to move on into neighborhood XYZ, but that's just not working out. It looks like you're really being pushed to neighborhood ABC. So then there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Trust part of this process. All right. Let's get into what you're getting rid of, what you're closing off, what you're finalizing. I still want to say like what you're opening up. Now, I think there's going to be some flexibility in this, you know, new cycle area for you, because some of you may recognize it and say, yeah, that feels like a new cycle that I would like to do. But I think the important thing here for you, Cancer, is you're not getting into those new cycles or they won't feel good. Like if it's a kind of a feel good cycle, let's say it's something that's got growth and abundance and things that you really want to explore that kind of feed the more joyful parts of your life and your dreams. I don't think you're going to enjoy it unless you close certain things off, because it's like those are going to weigh on the back of your mind. And others of you, these could be things that you've already been working on and you're thinking, yes, I can see how that's something that I want to finish properly here. I want to close that off properly. I want to address it a certain way. Closing off, opening up. We'll leave it at that for Cancer. Closing off and opening up. The prayer, the gem. Oh, wow. I'm putting that right into closing off. I like this. This is almost like praying for that 1 in a million thing. Praying for it, you know, finding it. Wow. Okay, so if you're closing off a prayer for that 1 in a million gem, I feel like either that 1 in a million gem that you were praying for, this is no longer relevant to you and you would no longer wish to pray for it or hope for it, or you have found it. So that is over. That's interesting. That feels like kind of a profound moment, like whether this is something that you no longer wish for because you've changed in a certain way. It feels like a distinct shift in the direction that you're going to take yourself in life. Got the new earth here. And if it's something that you achieve this, you get it. Obviously, you're not praying for this 1 in a million gem anymore. You've received it. You're not going to continue to put that order out to the universe in a manifestation practice. Oh, the forest. Interesting. Okay. Now, I feel like some of you are getting ready to walk out of the deep, dark forest. The sun is setting on that period of time for a sunrise. The forest talks about, for me, like going into these, it's like a pilgrimage for one. It's pilgrimage, so it is kind of moving away from things that you would typically feel safe and comfortable. These could be actual scenarios in your life, or they could just be the places that you focus your thoughts on. But there's a lot of, I feel like, more internal that goes on in the deep, dark forest. And it might also be reflective in like how your life is playing out around you. So it is going on pilgrimage. It is moving away from what is comfortable and safe and finding the areas that are uncomfortable, because the deep, dark forest can be a bit uncomfortable. There's predators in there, there's shadows, there's fallen branches, there's rodent holes, right? Like there's a lot of ways that you could get yourself lost or injured in there. But it's about going in there and being brave enough to find it on your own, being brave enough to explore it on your own. Because on the other side, there's always another side to the forest. Everybody's forest is a different duration than anyone else's. Like some people walk into a deep, dark forest and that forest is so dense and so long that it could take years to get through the forest. And some people, it just could take a few days or a few weeks. But again, it's like something that you're finishing this fully and properly. So you're perhaps looking at smaller things within yourself. Again, this could have something like a prayer for something that you wished for, that you would find. And I do want to say, you might be closing this wish off because you might be finding it within yourself. And then when you do find that, you leave the forest. You walk out of the forest. The poet is at the bottom. Oh, okay. I'm seeing like, okay, I'll show you the card. It'll help. So what I'm getting here is, you know how like when you're in the forest and you're walking through the forest and the birds give you away. So, you know, there are warning systems with all the other animals in the forest. You have to be pretty stealth for the birds not to give you away, and move pretty slowly, or even just you've been in the forest for a time. But I feel like these birds, it's almost like if you were standing in a field looking at the forest that someone else had entered and had gone deep into, maybe like waiting for someone. That could be it too. Maybe waiting for someone to come out of the forest. Maybe you're waiting for someone to come out of the forest. Maybe this has to do something with a prayer and the gem. Yeah, because okay, the poet, let's not get too caught up in what this says yet, the poet. It's the scene that I'm seeing here. It's like that warning sign, that indicator before something comes out of the forest. Even if it's like you're just sitting in a field, I don't want to say right on the edge of the forest, but you're almost like out in the field and you're looking at the edge of the forest. And maybe it looks dark because of the lighting and it's just like a black silhouette. You're watching and watching and watching, and then all of a sudden the birds start coming out of the forest, off the edge of the forest, and they're squawking. And you know instinctively, if you've spent any time in nature, something's coming through that forest. Something's about to exit the forest. Could be a bear, it could be a deer, like just in general terms in life, sitting on the edge, and you see something. Sometimes it's something small. It could be like a squirrel, a raccoon. Don't usually warn off for a squirrel, but there's something's coming. You're seeing something coming out of the forest. Now, where I want to go with poet in this is that it feels almost muse-like. Oh God, this is fascinating. So this prayer for the gem, this wonderful, incredible, hard to find, one of a kind, 1 in a million opportunities, right? You're no longer trying to manifest that, because now I see how these two are connected, because I see it's coming out of the forest. I don't know, maybe for some of you, this is you. But if the minute I saw the scenario of someone sitting in the field and these birds are all flying off of, you could just see them like taking off from the tops of these trees. They're clearing out because something's coming through. That's the indicator that something is coming out of the forest. And it's interesting because to me, like these hands around what could be like a crystal ball or the moon itself, it's almost like this was prophesized for you, where you knew this opportunity would come, that it would arrive, but when you didn't know. But being the poet, I almost feel like that this is something that you have, you may have written poetry about. You may have even just like a sense of a muse, like something that inspired you. Something of beautiful inspiration here is coming out of the forest. The birds are telling you this. So in some ways I see like it is connected to this, which makes sense to me why it was like finishing something properly here. And maybe there's even something had to be finished properly for you to receive whatever this is that you've prayed for, hoped for, tried to manifest. It's like a 1 in a million prize here. This is really a special thing. And, you've received, okay, because what is this? There's kind of like a half-baked diamond. There's a half-baked diamond here. And then, I don't know, it's like a pearl with a little shiny, a little glow. It's a glowing pearl, a glistening pearl. But these are not the gem, because this gem is very unique from all of these other sort of things that you could acquire or hope to receive. But this is a half-baked diamond, and this is a shiny little pearl. It's almost like you've refused, I feel like, other things in your life because you wait for the gem. And maybe the gem is what comes through this dark forest. So if like, in some ways I want to say, because I'm visualizing like something walking out of the forest, it could actually be a person that you've waited for. Maybe this person has been going through a very dark night of the soul. They've been working through like doing a lot of shadow work, just this symbolism of this dark black forest. And if it's not that, it is something that you are waiting for. You get an indication that here it comes, because the birds show you this. So maybe they do somehow. Like maybe you get messages from birds, or maybe you get another tarot reading 5, 6, 8 months from now, and there's something about birds in that reading, and it syncs up with what it is that you've been waiting for. And then you know that something that I feel like sits in the unknown for you with the darkness of the forest and holding this crystal ball that looks like the moon. It's just like trusting your intuition here that you will get this, that this will happen. Why is both? Yeah, okay, no, you were the underline. You go back over there. Okay. That's interesting. All right, let's look at the oracle. I think you're the okay. I think so. Oh, the raccoon. Isn't that funny? Like, because this person is completely buried except for their hand reaching up out of the ground. There's almost like a judgment energy too, right? Like being pulled up, waiting to come up out of the earth. And then you have the raccoon here. So you're closing off a period here where you have very much kept to yourself. And if you haven't like done that on a more social level here, I feel like you have in terms of like offers that you've accepted or things that you've allowed to bypass you because they weren't the gem. They're not the gem. I'm not taking this half-baked diamond. I'm not taking this tiny little shiny pearl. Closing off the raccoon, hiding in the shadows. Although, so maybe you are the one coming out of the forest, but there's something significant about being on the outside of the forest and these birds flying out of the canopy to indicate that something is coming through. The forest, and I will pull one for the new earth. I feel like the new earth has come out for more than just Taurus because now I'm being reminded of the shallow water that she's standing in, and it's up to her ankles. Maybe this was for maybe Pisces too. Like a lot of y'all are getting new earth. The forest. Whoa, the panther. The mouse for the new earth. Did I say mouse? Because I kept hearing like almost the echo of my voice. The mouth of the new earth. But the mouse is a very kind of like humble and timid. It could be a little bit, it's also described as being a little bit nitpicky, like really focusing on tiny little things here. Keep holding your vision. Oh, but you see, that feels nitpicky. That whole scenario I described at the very beginning about like building the deck, you know, all those components. Or maybe you put all the boards in just to get them kind of lined up. You only put like 2 screws, kitty corner of each other just so that they're in place, but you know you got to go in and you got to put the 3 and 4 in each, or maybe even 6. Anyways, there's like, even I'm getting nitpicky just doing that, but this is nitpicky because all these little things, it's important that they're looked after and they're lined up for a new beginning. Now, this panther is really intriguing me. It's a right, the birds are flying out of the forest. What's coming out of the forest? Now I'm worried about what's coming out of this forest. Because the birds are scattering. I mean, maybe it's you. Maybe you're like fierce and ferocious here. If you are, because of what you've been through in the forest. But this panther always comes through for me as one of the strongest spiritual protectors that you could have around you, particularly in dark times, which is funny, right? The forest. I gotta see how that unfolds. Tarantula. You have, interesting, you have 2 earth energies and 2 fire energies in the oracle deck. creeping along, staying low. There's something about like this low-key energy. The raccoon, the mouse, and the tarantula. I mean, the tarantula isn't low-key, but it's low to the ground. And I'm looking at both of these, like neither one of these are really shining here in any sort of spotlight at all. One more. It's amazing how easy it is to do that when your thumbs don't hurt. I don't know what I did to my thumb. I did something to it. I hurt it when I was moving. Oh my God, it hurt to do anything. But it's better now. It's much better. Okay. Closing off cycle, opening up cycle. What the fuck is coming out of the forest? Fucking here. The hell is coming out of the forest? All right, closing off. Four of Swords. I'm not surprised. The Emperor and the Mother of Swords. Wow, this is kind of like, what is this? The prayer and the gem. Okay, there's something here that you've been healing as a very masculine part of yourself. A very masculine part of yourself that has affected how you see things through your feminine eyes, I'm hearing. So whether you see yourself as masculine or feminine or anything in between, this is really about, I feel like how you understand yourself, almost like how you see yourself internally, and then how that affects your interpretation of what you see outside of yourself. Y'all might be becoming your own gem here, and this is why the prayer, the manifestation could like why you finish it. Yeah, it's very interesting. Clearing the mind here too, and healing the mind. Definitely healing the mind. Seeing the truth in yourself here and how that fits in to much bigger schemes around you. Much like how that fits into relationships around you. There could be something that you have, I want to say, I don't know, whatever you've been doing, either you're doing it now and you'll close it off at some time in 2023, or you'll start it in 2023 and close it off. But it's significant that it's coming out in the reading because it's something you're closing off. But I kind of feel that you would be engaged in it now just because we're almost in 2023. It's like you've been spending a lot of time on yourself. A lot of time on yourself in 2023. I'm in 2022, but you're finishing that in 2023. Okay, so if there's been a lot of internal, even sort of like nitpicking, looking after all the small things in life. I don't know that nitpicking is the right word because it feels like looking after the little things in life, you know, to make sure that all the big things move forward properly. And having this new beginning for yourself, it's important that all these little things are looked after. What's coming out of the forest? The Four of Wands seems okay so far. The Sun. Where's the Panther here? The Two of Pentacles. There's a really funny energy here because this seems amazing. But then there's a pause, like almost holding yourself back. Is that why the Panther is here? Because the Four of Wands, it's like, yay, finally happening. Look at this. This is great. This is amazing. The Sun, this is like coming completely out of the forest, seeing daylight, seeing like just the best possibilities ahead of yourself here. But then the Two of Pentacles comes in, and the way it sits and blocks this butterfly, like it's blocking a rebirth. Something is blocking a rebirth here. And now I'm going to, like, right, kind of feeling out, well, maybe this is why the Panther is here. There's something important here for you to receive. But it's almost like you're being protected either from it. There's a lot coming. What is coming? Because now I'm hearing, I'm being shown like you won't be the only ones that see all the birds coming out of the canopy. And this tarantula feels like it's creeping up on it. There's a point of needing to self-reflect or just reflect on a situation. Deal with, again, perhaps all of the little things that are involved here. There's something about this forest and the panther that makes me not trust it, which, right? It's almost like that's what happens with this. Everything looked amazing, and then the Two of Pentacles blocking this butterfly. Maybe for you, everything that has come out of darkness and unknown up at this point has been like a really tough lesson, or something that you're like, oh, I'd rather not have done that, or rather not have received that. Because this panther's reaction to the forest is a very protective stance. The Fool and the Daughter of Cups is here. Wow, taking a leap. Okay, there's something very different about what's coming out of the forest. It's not exactly what you anticipate. That's why the Two of Pentacles is there, like a pause, like a wait a second. Let me weigh this out. Because I see this little bird. It's interesting how these two are showing up like that, right? Like they're two little chicks. This chick is about to jump off a branch. And I feel like its idea is, I'm going to try to fly. You know, I'm going to land softly. But it plops into the water. Like it's a very unexpected landing. It does happen, but it's very unexpected. And what is kind of beautiful, though, is there's rainbows here in this reflection. So it's almost like something for you is manifested. You do receive it. But how you land in it, how it lands towards you, is not quite maybe what you perceived. It is like a wish fulfillment. But wait a second. I need to swim. I don't need to walk or fly. I'm so thirsty in your reading. It's weird. I had a tea and everything this morning. I don't know if that symbolizes something for you. Hydration might be really important for you in 2023. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Oh, but see, but he lands in the water. It's exactly what you need, but maybe not realizing it until you need it. You don't realize how much you need water until you're thirsty. The raccoon. Closing this cycle off, this raccoon. Really grounding yourself. Oh, the Nine of Wands. Okay. There's kind of a sense of keeping yourself out of the... trying to keep yourself out of some sort of battle going on around you. Trying to stay uninvolved in something difficult. Maybe that explains this over here. Maybe this is like a vetting process for you, you know, like to make sure that something is what it seems to be. Because I see you here, like the cycle that you're involved in that you're going to be closing off, is that you are kind of keeping yourself outside of a precarious situation. The prayer. Look at Oh, it's manifesting a new beginning. Yes, like you prayed for this. Rising up out of the grave here. The death card into the magician. Manifesting a new beginning. But very cautious. Holding yourself back because this isn't the best environment to do it in with the Nine of Wands. The gem. The way that landed right on there. The Daughter of Swords and the High Priestess. That just feels like intuition on point. Going really, following your intuition here. So you're not going to need to do that anymore. You've been doing it. Like your intuition, I want to say, is leading you to the point in time you were hoping for. And in getting there, you've had to really hold yourself back. So, you know, this could even be, this could be something going on in a family situation. And there's a certain outcome that you're really hoping for here. It would be nice for everyone if that's kind of how that worked out. Or, but there's almost like a knowing on your part that I really should not get too involved in this. I'm just going to kind of let things unfold as they are meant to unfold. And your intuition is guiding you here to the gem. And the gem could even symbolize just like a really good outcome. The Four of Swords. The Star. The Emperor. The Strength card and the Ten of Pentacles. The Mother of Swords. This is like real healing, the Mother of Swords twice. I mean, you have a healing card and then you have a all healed up card. Mother of Swords, Son of Swords, the Devil. Damn. This is what you're closing off. Well, you've healed something. You've definitely done that. What this is about, it could be about home life. You honestly become a stronger part of yourself here. Double Mother of Swords with the Knight of Swords and the Devil. This feels very critical. It feels very critical and impulsive, which ends up showing up as kind of like unhealthy, toxic, or yeah, or it just is. And maybe, I don't know if this self-critical energy, it's either self-critical or others criticizing you. If it's others criticizing you for something, like maybe some people think, well, you should get more involved in that, or you shouldn't hold yourself back so much. It does feel like there's at least two individuals here who don't hold back on expressing their thoughts with the Mother of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, like, you know, things that, you know, you don't always have to say everything that comes into your head. It's almost like that's what you would say to somebody. You don't have to say everything that comes into your head. I see that sometimes in comments, but like, you don't have to say anything. I just laughing at that. And I don't mean like that most comments, most are really good or whatever. You're just, you know, doing you. But I feel like there's some people that come into the comments, I notice it's very important to them to only comment when they want to be critical. And I'm like, why are you like that? It almost feels like this is like, why are you like that? Why do you have to be like that? I don't know, maybe you are. Whatever this is getting closed off, whether it's you or someone around you, is really like, stop. Just stop. Just stop it now. Oh, I need to, wait a second. I don't have to because it hasn't changed. The New Earth, you have the Eight of Wands, the Father of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. Well, there's something new for sure, my dears. That is not small either, with the Eight of Wands and the Father of Wands. This is a very strong leadership energy, which is funny because I don't see that here. You know, the only part I see that is the Emperor. But with the Strength card, this is a part of yourself that you've probably been holding back on. We got the raccoon and the mouse and the Four of Swords and the Star praying to come up out of the ground. I'm getting too with this energy that you're closing off. I'm just hearing you've literally held yourself back enough. Let's just move forward. All right, I'm really curious. The Forest. The Forest. The Seven of Cups. Okay, well, the forest would be that. Like, how far do you go into the forest? How long are you in the forest? How dark does it get in the forest? What is in the darkness? What's in the shadows? What lives in that tree? There's a lot of things to explore. But the forest, to me, really symbolizes a part within yourself. You know, you ask all those questions. Whether you do that on a subconscious or conscious level, I feel like it moves back and forth. But the Panther. The Panther. Why? Okay, I'm going to ask, why is the Panther here for one? Why? Why is the Panther here? Why is the Panther here? The Eight of Wands. Well, okay, it's to initiate something. It's almost like to scare you into moving. Get your ass going here. Because I do not see ass going here. Energy until we get kind of over there. Oh, and get into this new earth. Well, that's funny. The Fool is exposed after I drop the cards. Got the Lovers, the Father of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Daughter of Cups. How crazy is that? These two are right beside each other. You see me. I'm shuffling. I didn't plan it that way. How crazy. How friggin' crazy is that? Like, what are the probabilities of that? I've had weird things like that happen with my cards a lot. And I've been getting a lot of clarifiers that are exactly the same card as the one that I'm clarifying, like you just did with the Mother of Swords. I really wonder, what are the chances of that? That can't just be randomness. So, the Eight of Wands. The Panther is here to get you moving. How does the Panther do that? How? The Father of Swords. Wow. Very frickin' clear. Well, there could be a rule. There could be a rule about you need to move forward. But the rainbow. The Father of Swords is showing the rainbow. The rainbow is reflected. These are exactly the same colors in the sky behind the forest. Oh, and it's the same color in the lightning bolt. And I'm saying that because they all have green near the base. This green and mauve. Like all these colors are appearing in the same order. I feel like the Panther could also be telling you it's okay to move forward. It's okay to go. This is clear. This is your wish. This is your dream. There's fulfillment here. The Four of Wands. The Four of Wands. The Emperor. And the Six of Cups. What is this? You fulfill something here that you've held back on. Well, I see you holding back. I see you holding back. Which you're closing off. That's being closed off. But then you fulfill this. You fulfill it. What you're doing is you're almost creating a deeper root system here. A deeper root system with more nutrients for the future. The Sun. The Five of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. I like that. That's like when you come out on the other side of the forest and you find like something beautiful there for you to explore. And you think to yourself, I never would have found this. I never would be experiencing it like this if I hadn't gone through the forest. The whole time I was in the forest, it felt like the worst fucking place on the planet. Why did I have to go through it? I hate this shit. I don't like the forest. But then when you get on the other side, because it's like you really get a completely different perspective about depletion, feeling depleted, feeling like out on the outskirts, feeling not included, feeling lack, when really that produces the sun. It's funny. It's like I can see you in the forest, swearing at the forest. God damn this fucking shit. You come out of the forest and it's the best thing you've ever experienced. Oh, you're such a great forest. That's funny. That's life. Two of Pentacles. Oh, this one. The Two of Pentacles. The Four of Cups. See? What is this? Oh, you gotta make a choice about something. Ace of Cups. The Nine of Swords. Oh, you gotta make a choice. It almost feels like, how do I build with what I receive on the other end? Like weighing that out. And I'm wondering if it's because you have this, I'm just going to keep calling it nitpicky, but it's not. You know, it's really focusing on the tiny details. I want to say too, whatever went on in the forest for you, yeah, you did. Look at how many cards I've pulled out. Where do you have cups? Being a water sign. They're all over here. They're nowhere else. Not even in the clarifiers. You don't have any cup cards. Like you haven't been in your energy. You've been, and the forest could be that for you too. Like you've been pushed into an element that is not comfortable for you. It's not your natural element, okay? So, but then all of a sudden your natural element starts to appear over here. Seven of Cups, Six of Cups, Four of Cups, Ace of Cups. They're all over here in the future to what you're opening up. But it's almost like I want to say this Four of Cups represents, because I don't see it anywhere. I don't see any cups anywhere else. Like the things that you've sacrificed emotionally here. And then realizing that there's a huge emotional opportunity, but you might overthink it a bit. Because you just haven't, which is funny, it's your natural element. You don't even anticipate that you're jumping into it. That you're jumping into your natural element. There's the rainbow again. Well, not again. It was already there. The mouse. This little timid mouse. This little timid mouse. The Ace of Swords. There's a lot of lightning strikes in this new earth. Ace of Swords has lightning strike. Actually, every tarot card that's come out, except this Ace of Pentacles, has a lightning strike. And you have two aces here now. Your new earth is very new. New mind, new world, new environment, new thoughts, new truths. The mouse. The smaller you are, the more you learn. The more you sit in the shadows, the more you discover. The Eight of Wands, which is connected to the Panther that gets you out of the forest. Hi. You have the Father of Cups and the Two of Cups. Boom! Big water. Big water. Big emotions, like a lightning strike. I've just heard it would take your breath away. This almost just like a sudden, almost gets you to jump out at the edge of the forest. If you're the one in the forest, this panther, this energy, you jump out of the edge. Whoa, you've been in the forest so long. I really do feel like a little bit apprehensive about jumping into a dream here, because like, I don't know, been in the darkness so long, isn't that where I live? The Father of Wands. Ten of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Three of Cups. The burden of nitpicky. The burden of like trying to come up with solutions to answers to scenarios that keep changing. Trying to come up with solutions for answers linked to scenarios that keep changing. And in this, you become a leader in a way that you never would have otherwise. The Three of Cups, all these cups are coming into your new cycles. You're all cups. Where's your cups been? Cancer, you've had no cups. But you will. You're getting into cups, you're getting into water again. The Ace of Pentacles, right? As I was shuffling to get the clarifier for the Ace of Pentacles, I looked at her and said, no, but she's only ankle deep. Like, you're not going to jump into the water. You're only going ankle deep first. You're wading in. The Two of Pentacles. And that came out. Because you're like weighing it out. You've got a new beginning. You're being really practical and steady about it. The Eight of Swords. Oh, damn. Wow. Like, don't go there. The Eight of Swords. Now I see. It's almost like a new beginning for you. It has been so unsafe for so long that when it does present itself, when the panther says, boo, jump out of the forest, get out of there. Or, ooh, look, what's coming out of the forest is finally here. I don't know. Is it really safe to take flight? I think so. All right, so what I'm going to do, Cancer, I'm going to go into the Kipper. If you're not going to sit around for the Kipper, and if you're interested in it, you can go check out the extended. In the extended, I look at what is the biggest blind spot cycle for you in 2023. Like, what do you really not see coming? What is the biggest thing that you do not see coming in 2023? If you're sticking around for the Kipper, let's get into it. So the Kipper may or may not relate to what's already come out on the table. It could be different areas of your life. In some ways, I hope it does, so that it gives you a little more insight into different areas. But sometimes it does seem reflective of what's already come out. So we are going to look at, again, but it is much faster at this point, is what you're closing off, or soul's journey. No, we're going to do it in this order, right? What you're closing off, what you're opening up, and your soul's journey. Still snowing out there. What you're closing off, community. You're done with some people. I think I'm done with them. Going there anymore. Not going to talk to them anymore. Oh, you're done with some sort of community here. What are you opening up? Despair. Oh, the forest. You're looking at some dark things, Cancer. But I really feel like you need to look at this so that you can reach for the cups again. Soul's journey. Don't get afraid, okay? This means you actually, it actually is in complete sync with what I started out of earlier. You have the coffin. The coffin does not mean that you're going to die. Well, we all are at some point. The minute you're born, you're on the way to your magic number of death. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so grim and creepy. I think that's my Lilith and Scorpio. It's like, so this is like finally closing something off. Like, you're putting the nails in it here, right? Those final screws in that deck, the knoll post on the railing, you're closing something off so that you can really move forward. Main male is at the bottom. Without context, it's hard to say, to be honest, because there's nothing else with that. You could be a main male for someone, or a main male could be coming in for you. All right. What's going on with this community? You're closing off with them. First, let's find out what's this community about, and then let's find out why you're closing it off. Although we might figure that out by what the community is like. Lies and stealing and cheating. We might have a good idea why you're closing that off. What's this community about for Cancer? Lies and stealing. The Seven of Swords. The Death card. You're done with this. Oh my God, these are some... what is this? Sneaky behavior? Sneaky, lying, manipulative. Let me get something for the coffin. I just want to, because you have two cards, the Death card in the coffin. The coffin. Okay, the Six of Wands. Don't worry, it's all good. Okay, that's all good. Don't worry about it. This is successfully completing it. It's successful. It depends where you are in life too. Sometimes I think, life is so tiring and difficult. Do you ever like fantasize about like your final box? Like just lay there and rest. And just be like so comfy. As long as I have a comfortable pillow in my final box of rest. So nice. So whatever, it'll be successful. No, I'm just funny. Like, I just don't look at death as a scary thing. I think the hardest, for myself anyways, I always find the hardest part about death is the people that we lose. And I get all nostalgic about them and missing them and wishing they were here. And I was decorating the Christmas tree last night, and my mom gave me quite a few years ago. It's like a clear ball, like Christmas ball, and inside it, it's a picture of me and my stepdad and my son when he was young and he was taking his first snowmobile ride. And I was like, oh, I miss him. That's the hardest part about death, my own. I really don't care. Be quiet, peaceful. So if that's what you want, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You'll be happy. But I honestly see this community here. Welcome. Do we need to ask why you're closing that off? I don't really feel like I do. I mean, I said it could be self-explanatory if there's like lying and cheating and stealing. And the Seven of Swords came out with the Death card. This really needs to come to an end. Okay. Despair. Despair. But the Five of Pentacles, I would say that matches leaving a community and finding yourself in despair. And it could just be like on the outside. It's better to be outside than in there with them. It is a very Five of Pentacles card. It even comes out into a 5. Interesting. Some of you are making some big decisions in 2023 and removing yourself from, I think, community, social connections, maybe family or friends. Who knows? Don't know. But it's not good. And it honestly, it has that feeling of, if you wouldn't do it, it would probably be because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Oh, you got the devil here too, right? With 2 Mother of Swords and the Knight of Swords. God, this is almost like having a mother and a mother-in-law that have a smart-ass mouth and never show up. Sorry, they're not all like that, right? But because holy shit, I just don't know. Like the Knight of Swords with the devil, this person could really, like, the shit that comes out of their mouth is so toxic and fast. This is a fast, devil-tongued person. You're done with that. Despair. It's probably better. Despair. What is this? Oh, the Fool. It is a new beginning. You don't know where it's going. You don't know where you're going with this new beginning. The Fool and the Eight of Swords. I'll tell you where you're going. Somewhere really nice. The Daughter of Cups. It's just, you're going to land. You're landing where you don't really see yourself landing, but it is exactly the environment that is best suited for you to grow. But I do see you walking through the forest. Through the forest, my friend. You'll find people in the forest. You'll find people like me in the forest. You'll find other people in the forest too. It's a good time in the forest. Okay, so the coffin. We already got the Six of Wands. So you know what? Something that you're closing off here, I feel like it's very agreeable between you and others. Maybe there's been some scenario or situation that you've been involved in some sort of community way that has caused you to act ways that you really would rather have not acted or don't want to act. All right? Anything else you can tell us about the coffin? This is the soul's journey. This is justice and the Two of Wands. If this is done correctly, which I feel like is the idea for closing certain things off for you, that you can anticipate, like whatever you're manifesting in the future is how you're closing off the past. Main male, Five of Cups, Knight of Wands. Now be careful with that. That feels like, you know, being emotionally kind of hurt, despair, and wanting to distract yourself with that feeling, as opposed to going into the forest and finding it and searching through that feeling. Wow, is this Cancer? It was a big reading. They all really are. Thank you. I'm going to go do the extended. Like I said, I'm going to look at what is the biggest unknown cycle to you that you just don't see coming, that you're going to have in 2023. Thank you so much, my Cancerians. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.